of the controversial topics currently affecting everyone who uses the internet is net neutrality. But what is net neutrality? In order to understand what net neutrality is, we need to talk about several important terms first, such as broadband, the FCC, blocking, throttling, and many more. Broadband refers to high-speed internet access that is always on and faster than dial-up. It uses several transition methods like DSL, cable modems, wireless, fiber, and satellite. ISPs like AT&T and Verizon are internet service providers that use broadband to connect you to the internet. They can control your internet and your internet connection, giving them the option to slow your connection or prohibit you from seeing certain websites. Net neutrality rules are what prevent ISPs from having total control and allow us to have an open internet. The FCC, or the Federal Communications Commission, is the government-run agency that creates and upholds net neutrality rules. FCC commissioners are appointed by the president, though, so some political influence is in rule creation. President Trump appointed Ajit Pai as FCC chairman. One of his first targets is net neutrality, as it seems he would like to follow the Trump administration's plan to roll back government regulation. The FCC's open internet rules protect and maintain open, uninhibited access to lawful online content. The rules specifically prohibit blocking, throttling or slowing traffic, and paid prioritization. Blocking is when ISPs prevent access to lawful content or applications. Throttling is when ISPs deliberately target some lawful internet traffic to be delivered more slowly to its users. Paid prioritization is gaining favor for faster internet in exchange for any type of consideration. A brief timeline of net neutrality rules over the years will help explain the nuances for the arguments today. From 2002 to 2005, the FCC deregulated internet and cable and called them information services. The FCC also created a policy stating consumers should be able to access lawful internet content, and the Supreme Court also upheld the decision to keep cable and internet deregulated. From 2006 to 2010, a court proceeding found that the FCC did not have jurisdiction in a dispute between a content provider and an ISP. As an attempt to remedy this decision, the FCC issued its Open Internet Order, which established a framework for net neutrality. But in 2014, the court struck down the FCC's Open Internet Order because internet was deregulated as an information service. The court further opined that the FCC could regulate net neutrality disputes if ISPs were classified as common carriers under Title II. From 2015 to 2016, the FCC created new net neutrality rules to reclassify ISPs under Title II of the Telecommunications Act. This made ISPs classified as common carriers, allowing them to be regulated by the FCC. The courts then upheld the FCC's authority. Pai is seeking to overturn the Title II classification of ISPs and to deregulate them as information services once again. AT&T and others are appealing the lower court ruling upholding the FCC's net neutrality rules to the Supreme Court. The FCC has also opened the Restoring Internet Freedom docket to receive comments on an open internet. ISPs argue they are for an open internet because regulation through Title II undermines investment, inhibits innovation, thwarts efforts to bring broadband to undeserved areas, was an overreach of marketplace regulation, and prevents ISPs from managing their networks with efficiency. Content providers like Google, YouTube, and Facebook want Title II regulations because they believe ISPs could impede traffic for those services in order to favor their own services. ISPs could impose new tolls on content providers and users, and that ISPs could inhibit consumer choice. Internet service providers invest billions of dollars in our telecommunications infrastructure in the U.S. every year. In 2016 alone, the top three ISPs, AT&T, Verizon, and Comcast, invested a total of $91.9 billion. People who argue Title II won't stifle investment need to take a look at AT&T's spending. Since being reclassified as a common carrier, AT&T has reduced capital broadband investment from $21.2 billion to $17.3 billion. Since AT&T is also the biggest ISP, other carriers follow suit. Another reason ISPs fight to be declassified as common carriers is bandwidth hogs. Bandwidth hogs are companies that use the networks made by ISPs to produce their own content for free. The biggest bandwidth hogs are Netflix, YouTube, and HTTP. All bandwidth hogs are against ISPs. The FCC's net neutrality docket currently has 21 million comments. 70% of the comments were found to be in favor of repealing Title II for ISPs. Many proponents also believe laws are needed to protect net neutrality rule changes every time the political party changes. So tell me, what side are you on?